Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Watchtower Examination. As I sit to do this video, I'm remembering a member of the governing body, one David Splain, making an interesting observation.
Well, there have been so many changes. It's hard to keep up.
So many changes. It's hard to keep up. An organization that changes their doctrine so often that even the governing body member is acknowledging that it's hard for Jehovah's Witnesses to keep up. Today I'm saying something similar to David Splain. I'm saying so many charges, it's hard to keep up. I checked my phone and I saw among the notifications an interesting notification. I don't know how. JW.org is sending me notifications on my phone. I have not subscribed to anything. But somehow among my notifications was one notification about a Jehovah's Witness in Russia who was charged criminally. I looked at the article and I am disappointed in what Russia is doing because they are charging this man criminally for doing a Bible study or discussing the Bible while in jail, while incarcerated. That just seems to be pushing the button. Every man should have a right to express his religious beliefs, and I don't care if you're Russia or the United States. I believe in freedom of worship. And as much as I do not like the Watchtower religion and the things they teach, I believe that every man has a right to his religious convictions, and especially when they are discussing the Bible. So I feel for Dimitri. I feel for any Jehovah's Witness who's going to be criminally charged for discussing the Bible, because that could be me. That could be any Christian. Again, I say I do not agree with the Jehovah's Witness outlook and interpretation of the scriptures, but to charge someone criminally, this is the kind of thing that Jehovah's Witnesses can genuinely call persecution. If you are being persecuted for righteousness' sake. Now, it's pretty interesting that the Watchtower organization would see it fit to send a notification out about one man arrested in Russia, while in their backyard, so to speak, in the United States, in the very state where this organization was born, 5 more Jehovah's Witness men or men formerly associated with the Watchtower organization charged for sexually abusing multiple children. It happened in October. It happened in February. And here we are again.
Sadly, this is not the first time that I've stood here and talked about this. Last October, our office announced similar charges against 5 separate men. And then in February, I stood before you and announced charges against 4 additional men. This is the 3rd press conference of this nature, which we've held in 3 different areas of the Commonwealth. As I said, this abuse happened across the Commonwealth. Since last fall, we have charged 14 individuals connected to the same religious organization, the Jehovah Witnesses, as part of this ongoing investigation into child sexual abuse. Of those 14 that we previously arrested, all of them are pending trial, and their cases are at different points in the criminal justice system, but for one individual who took his own life when our agents were attempting to apprehend him. As I have said before, the details of these cases that I will be talking about are incredibly disturbing.
No, I have said it in a previous video, and I'll say it again. You cannot judge an organization. Well, I believe you cannot fairly judge a church on the actions of its members. And I use the analogy, if my church teaches, do not steal, and I choose to become a thief, you don't blame the church for that. The church teaches me not to steal. And I've made the point that the Watchtower organization does not encourage, or let me put it another way, the Watchtower organization does not teach its members to sexually assault children. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we are up to 14 men in less than a year being charged in one state for sexually abusing multiple children. What is it about an organization? Why so many of their men are sexually abusing children? What is wrong there? There is no escaping the reality that something must be wrong in that organization. And it is so interesting that the Watchtower is trying to paint a picture that we do not have any sort of institution, as it were. You know, they compare themselves, for example, with the Boy Scout, for example, that will hold camps. They compare themselves with the Catholic Church that has programs in place where they will house children. And they say they do not have anything like that. But there must be something organizational that gives men access to so many children, and why so many Jehovah's Witness children are being sexually abused. And one of the reasons, as I mentioned in a previous video, is this.
So, whom do you trust? You fully trust in Jehovah, Jesus, and the faithful slave. To a reasonable degree, you also trust all your fellow brothers and sisters.
And this.
All busy with the older ones. Get to know and love them all.
And this.
And are your friends Jehovah's friends? And are your friends Jehovah's friends?
Yeah.
This encouragement of Jehovah's Witnesses, after, as it were, keeping only Jehovah's Witness friends, literally pushing people who are not Jehovah's Witnesses outside of their world. And then they're told, they speak about their brotherhood. And they spend so much time promoting their brotherhood and how much they love one another and how this is Jehovah's organization. Now you have the governing body telling people to trust their brethren. You must trust God completely, trust the governing body completely. And then to a lesser degree, you trust your brothers and sisters. And so you have Jehovah's Witness parents who are trusting their brothers and sisters so much that they are leaving their children exposed to this sort of abuse. But it goes beyond that. It is not only the access, it is the protection that the pedophiles feel that the organization gives to them with their interpretation and application of the two-witness rule found in the Bible. So that the pedophile knows that all he has to do is deny. And the child will not be believed. And if it's a case that he confesses, all he has to do, because they are not going to report it to the police, all he has to do is convince 3 men that he is sufficiently repentant. And he will continue in the organization with the congregation not knowing that he is a pedophile. And so the situation, the unfortunate situation, is perpetuated in the organization. So Dimitri is being persecuted for Christ, it could be said, insofar as he is genuinely discussing what Christ teaches in the Bible. But they dare not use the persecution line for why this organization is so prominently featured in the media for something so nefarious. This organization is going down. The good thing about it, the only good thing about this, is that they are being exposed. More and more people are coming to see this organization for what it is, and therefore it is becoming more difficult for them to get people into their trap of false teachings. And so, here we go again. 5 more men from the state of Pennsylvania. And the Attorney General is making the point when asked if the organization is being investigated. The very same point that the previous Attorney General said. It's an ongoing investigation. She herself was asked the same question in the second press conference, and she gave the same answer. It's an ongoing investigation. Now she's asked a third time, and she's saying the same thing. It's an ongoing investigation. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If the organization, if the governing body, if the leadership were not targets of the investigation, the AG could easily answer the question, no. But we know better. We know better. Jehovah's Witnesses may not know, but we know that the organization is under investigation. And it's only a matter of time before we hear the news. And they are going to very well deserve it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, share your thoughts. Until we meet again, take good care of yourself, and remember, never take your health for granted.